I'll just hit on a few things. Of course, we're all excited that Sam is coming back, and other guys. Sam alluded to Jermaine Gresham and Trent Williams haven't announced yet, and the rest of the juniors. And Gerald McCoy already said a few days ago he was coming back, and we're excited about that, of course, for a couple of reasons. Obviously, it makes our team stronger with that experience and that kind of talent back for another year. But I think also it sends hopefully a clear message to other young guys out there that these guys value their experience in college. They value their education. Every one of them said that either graduating or being within a few hours of their degree made a difference, and they wanted to be at that point when they left school, because when you leave now, everyone says, oh, you can always go back. That's kind of hard when you have 4 years, 5 years down the road. You may have a family, you may have children, you're a lot older than everybody in class. It's not so easy. I think it's easier said than really done, and these guys value their education, and so that was part of their decision. The atmosphere that they compete in here was a factor. They see it as incredibly positive, and being with their teammates and us and the way we do things. And I think, too, they all see the value in another year of experience improving in their draft position. Every time you improve 5 spots, 8 spots, 10 spots, if you improve around, you have 3 or 4 times your money. And that's a factor. They all want to take care of their parents, or you want to be able to take care of your family. That second and third round money, you're going to take care of yourself, and that's about it. And you start getting into the first round, you're talking about taking care of some other people, and they want to solidify those positions and be in as strong a position as they can be when they enter the draft. Because when you do it that way, and you do jump draft positions forward, you really make a significant more amount of money, and you're more experienced and prepared for that atmosphere. And so they see the value in that anymore, and I appreciate those guys. And again, I think they're sending a great message to a lot of other young people in the value, of that last year and or going as far as you can in your college career. So again, we appreciate them and excited about it, and not just those guys, all our juniors. There's some other guys, the DeMarco Murrays, Chris Browns, that are excellent players as well, and goes on and on, that we're also fired up about being back. I'll take a few questions.
This is as big a recruiting day as signing day in February, right, for you?
Oh, I would say much bigger. A lot of times those guys that you guys project on signing day aren't quite what you thought.
Bob, what does this say about the alleged experts? Because you all along have maintained that you really can't put a lot of stock in what these guys say is who's 1, 2, or 3.
Well, I just think back, it's real easy for everyone to look back on a year ago. You just look back on where our guys were projected. The juniors that went out. And not one of them went where they were projected on TV or what everyone talked about. They went where their draft projection was. None of them were ahead of their draft projection. But the TV all had them above their draft projection. So that none of these people are in draft rooms. They don't, and you know how these guys are, these GMs and these guys who do the drafting, they don't want anyone to know who they like. Because then if someone finds out Bill Belichick likes this guy, you don't think that matters to the people picking in front of them? No one knows. Those guys are very secretive about it. And you can speculate all you want. And sometimes, there's some obvious guys that are, you could be correct about. But overall, I think it's, rarely does the TV monitor have it like it happens. I'm guessing here. I'm just from the little bit I watch of it.
Well, how do you get to the bottom line, or what you really believe is going to happen then?
Well, again, I think there's a lot of strong information that, to a degree, the NFL gives you a projection. And again, a lot of agents or people want to say, well, you can do better than that. I'm going to, in a month's period of time, I'm going to increase your 40 speed, or I'm going to change you this way, and all of a sudden you'll jump to here. And that doesn't happen very often. And in fact, it didn't happen for any of our guys a year ago. And again, when you look at second and third round, dollars and what those guys' contracts are compared to giving up school and or having the possibility to jump to a first round, I think they're giving up too much. And I think all coaches would tell you that. And again, the dollar figures are there for everyone to look at. They're drastically different. And again, I think the value of education needs not be lost here either when you go out early and give that up.
Bob, I know before the year, I think most people felt like Jermaine was the one guy that would be drafted the highest out of this class just because of measurables, and that's what the NFL likes. But we can't talk to him. Can you tell us a little bit about his decision?
No, I'm not going to get into. I don't think that's fair. Jermaine, I would say this, just talking to Jermaine, the things he valued, he brought up immediately just his teammates, and he wanted to compete with them, and feels Jermaine's a loyal guy, wants to finish and compete more in this situation, and he feels like there's more to do. He feels he can even make himself stronger in the draft next year, and I agree with him. He's going to only get better. And Jermaine also, knows he wants to graduate, or he's going to be awfully close when he does have to go. And again, those are all strong and good reasons to come back.
One of your first priorities in this offense is to protect Sam. With 4 new offensive linemen starters next year, could you talk about the challenge of doing that?
Sure. Some of those guys have played already for us and have played through this year. We rotated quite a few guys, so it isn't like those guys haven't played. I would say, too, though, we have a pretty good track record of doing and protecting our quarterback. You want to go back through all the years. We're pretty smart, and our Coach Wilson is, and our Coach Pat and our offensive staff on how we do that. And so that's always a priority for us, and, of course, it will be this year. And, we're not a team that's asking, Sam to run around a bunch and take a bunch of risks, and we're smart about how we use our guy. And we've always made a major priority of protecting him. And of course, we will again this year.
Bob, personally, how big a boost is this to you? Because I'm sure that the loss was really difficult.
Oh, the loss and this, to me, they're just different. Of course, you're disappointed, but I've already addressed all of that. But we move on. We're already on to next year and our focus and what we're looking at. I look back on the year and again, look at all the good fortune and the positives of a great year with working with a fun team to work with every day. So, but having these guys back and the opportunities, and you look at what the prospects are for next year, are really exciting. When you look at all the people back on defense and now all these guys back on offense, we have a chance to have another really special year next year because of the quality, depth, and experience back.
What with these guys, do you say, I'm here if you want to talk to me, or do you encourage them to come talk to you and you get them on the phone with the right people?
I think they'd all tell you. I gave them a space after after our last game till just a day or so ago, to visit with their families, to really check their own feelings. To me, that matters first, and then let's communicate what you're thinking, or if you have questions for me. I don't want to, of course, I want to be in the process. But I've done a lot with these guys, I think, each year leading up to. You need to really understand the difference in where you go in the draft. And if you're not a strong position, you're giving up too much. And I think more and more of our guys are realizing that and seeing the value in school and all the things I already talked about. And so I think I've been with these guys for a good number of years, explaining the process and making sure you make a wise choice. But again, in this deal, I'm not there. We have assistants, and I have had communication, but I gave him some space afterwards, and then I wanted to talk, and let's see what you're thinking.
My understanding that Sam was a first-round grade. Was it more difficult to talk to him because he could have been a top 5 pick, maybe than it was somebody that was projected at 2 or 3? Not
really, because in the end, as Sam, I think more than said it, that you have to go with what you want and what's your heart and what you feel you can, what you want for your life. And Sam's a model student athlete. He's a bright guy, and his education matters to him, along with being with his teammates and continuing the process here. And I always feel, why not have your cake and eat it too? Why not have all you want here and still be he's only going to get bigger, stronger, everything, in everything that he does. And so I think he only can improve his position a year from now. And people say, well, and this is an argument, well, he won't have the same team around him. Well, you don't think those guys watching tape know when you're driving a Cadillac and know when you're driving a BMW? I mean, they know what you're driving. So it isn't like, that has to, if he isn't protected quite as well next year, they're going to know that. But on the same way, I don't feel that I feel we've got a really good offensive line coming back, and a lot of those guys have played more than some other cases where we've lost guys and they hadn't played at all. We've got some decent experience coming back, in that offensive line.
What vehicle's better, a Cadillac or BMW? I assume that.
Well, we've got dealers in both, so I'm going to say it's hard for me to say. I'll take one more question if that's all right.
This sends a good message to younger players. Did you have a similar feeling last year when those guys left and you thought maybe they made some poor decisions? Did you worry that might start even a bigger flood of guys?
Well, I don't want to point, because again, I don't mistake me. I love those guys from a year ago. Those are good kids that did well for us. But I just believe a guy gives up too much if you go early and you're not a solid first round guy. I just believe if you for instance, a sixth round guy, I'm looking at 2 years ago, 2007 figures. Third round guy is going to make somewhere 600, 700,000. And then a second round guy maybe around 1.8 is the average. I think it was 1.8. And then you look at a bottom half first round guy you're up into 6.5, and then you look at the first 17 picks and you're looking at 16 plus. So those are major differences. And to give up your education, to give up your, whether it's your legacy at a school, your opportunity to make a legacy and be someone really special that's there forever, and to get your education, finish your degree, and to be more prepared when you have that opportunity in the NFL. Now, it's a lot easier for them to cut a second and third rounder than it is a first rounder. And you look at the average life in the NFL, and it's 3.5 years, and there's a reason for that. It's easy to let go of those second, third rounders after a couple, 3 years, and they go get another young guy and put them right in their place. So again, I think to me, you have to maximize your opportunity, and you need to get your value for what for your ability. And I think some of those guys who go early, they have a 4-year contract and they play at a discount. They're not getting their true value. Is my feeling if they're not a true first round guy.
I mean, did you worry that those decisions last year you talked about the positive influence of these decisions by Sam and those guys?
Well, I think in the end, it bore true to what we've said. They went where they were projected, not where everyone, the TV and the agents wanted to tell them they were going to go. And so I think it backed up what we've told our guys over the years, that we have a better feel, as do the people who do the drafting, than what you're told from the people on the outside who aren't in the process. And I think it backed us up because they went where they were projected.
Did any of those guys talk to any of these guys? Did you know of?
I don't know. Not worried about that. So, but anyway, again, appreciate everyone being here, and thanks. All right.